Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'll be convincing you why you need to switch to a mirrorless system for your landscape photography. Right after this. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome into the video. On this channel, we talk landscape photography. So if you're new here, if you're into landscape photography at all, consider subscribing below. Now in this video specifically, we're talking mirrorless systems. I'm going to convince you why you need to invest in a mirrorless camera and stop lugging around your heavy DSLRs. So I know there's going to be pushback on this right away because there's been so much pushback over the years on mirrorless cameras, the mirrorless technology. Is it there yet? Is it useful yet? Can it be used for landscapes yet? The answer, short and sweet, yes. Yes, it can. I think the excuse that the technology isn't there yet or there still needs to be improvement is because a lot of people, and it's no fault to their own, humans are just essentially afraid of change. Now, look, with mirrorless systems, there's a lot of benefits. And honestly, since I switched a few years ago, I haven't even had any drawbacks to my own photography or what I could do with a camera. I've seen no drawbacks in my own experience of using a mirrorless system, and I used a DSLR for many years before switching to a mirrorless system, and I will never ever go back. So first, let's figure out what is a mirrorless camera, like what makes the mirrorless technology. So what happens when you take a photograph is that inside you have a mirror between your lens and the camera sensor, and every time your camera takes a photograph, that mirror is flipping up and down. So that's the noise you hear whenever you're taking a photograph, is that mirror moving up and down inside your camera. What a mirrorless system does is it eliminates that mirror from the camera and basically reduces cost, reduces size, and reduces weight from the camera. So you're left with a smaller and lighter camera. So let's go through some of the benefits of using a mirrorless system. So let's grab my camera. Now we can talk about the mirrorless system. That is this Sony camera. Now I'm not saying you need to go out and buy a Sony camera specifically, but I do think you should invest in a mirrorless camera. If you're looking to upgrade, if you're looking to change around your gear, I highly suggest getting a mirrorless camera instead of a heavy DSLR. Now, I use a Sony A6000 to shoot with. There are upgrades to the Sony A6000. They have an A6500. At the time this video is being recorded, they also have full frame options. The 6500 and the 6000 are both crop sensor options, but the full frame options are like the A7, A7R2, A7S, and these are all really good full frame cameras that Sony makes. Fujifilm is making a mirrorless system. Canon and Nikon are a little bit lacking in the progress towards mirrorless systems. They're toying with the ideas. Sony has really paved the way for the mirrorless market for landscape photographers. And what you're ending up with, obviously you see the size is a lot smaller. This is also a much lighter camera that you can have. And the lenses to the mirrorless system are a lot smaller too. If we're talking wide angle lenses or like the 50 mils that you can get with your mirrorless system. Now the 7200s are still huge lenses, huge and heavy and bulky lenses, but the cameras themselves and your wide angle lenses are all much smaller and lighter than your DSLR cameras. So size and weight is a huge factor into getting a mirrorless system. And if you think about landscape photography, what you're doing is you're going out and hiking long trails most of the time. You're tired, you want to reduce weight to reduce fatigue when you're going out into the field and capturing these images. A mirrorless system reduces the weight in your bag and also gives you more space for some more gear that you might want to take, maybe some camping equipment, something like that. So mirrorless saves weight, saves space, and essentially is reducing a lot of the fatigue that you may end up with later in the field if you're carrying around a heavier system. Now, the excuse of that the technology isn't there yet, I mean, you have professional photographers that are now switching over to mirrorless systems, including myself, who are now using these mirrorless systems for a multiple number of years now, and multiple people are saying that you will never go back. So what is a drawback to your mirrorless system? I can see the initial drawback when you have to invest in new lenses and invest in something that's gonna match the mount of your camera. But if you invest in a system that has the same mount, you can use the same lenses as well. Or the entry-level lenses to a mirrorless system are relatively cheap. You can also get lens adapters like the Metabones Adapter that is an autofocus adapter you can buy. I'll link that below, as well as link a lot of the cameras that I've talked about in this video. I'll link those below as well. The mirrorless systems really, when you think about it and the kind of workarounds to get around the expensive new lenses that you have to buy, you know, get a Metabones adapter. Use that for a little while you build up your lenses that you have. Sell your old lenses that you have and get some money that way too. There really are workarounds to the drawbacks, the initial drawbacks of getting a mirrorless system if you're changing camera makers, like a Canon to Sony, Nikon to Fujifilm, whatever you're doing, there are workarounds to that. So really you're getting same technology in a smaller and lighter body that can do a lot of things for your photography. I'll never go back, and I know if you just try it, rent one from lensrentals.com. They don't pay me to say that, I just love that company. Rent one, see how you like it. If you want to switch, you will not regret it. All right guys, so that brings us to the question of the day. Are you interested in switching to a mirrorless system? And if so, which one are you switching to? If not, comment below on why you hesitate on switching to mirrorless. So that does it for this video on why you need to switch to a mirrorless camera. I hope you have a better understanding of what a mirrorless camera is, how it works, and the benefits that you have for a mirrorless setup. So if you like this video or you're interested in landscape photography at all, consider subscribing below. Don't be shy, hit that thumbs up button or comment below with your answers to the question of the day. If you want to keep watching, that's always an option too. Here's a playlist on landscape photography gear that you can go through, and here's a video that YouTube is suggesting that you watch based on your search terms.